So in last class, we have been discussing about web application part. Okay, the offensive part of security. So from today, we are going to start the defensive part of security. Now, when we are talking about a defensive part of security, the first thing comes into the mind or comes into the picture as well when the attack has been done. That is your threat intel team. Okay. Now, threat intelligence is what? Intelligence is what? It is a process that utilize the information to analyze and respond at the emerging requirement of the organization. Okay. Now, intelligence generally covers what and how of the information into why and when to solve the problem. Okay. Now, inside threat intelligence, the major factor we are going to talk about is your cyber threat. Okay. What is cyber threat? It's a malicious action that is going to damage your critical IT resources or the organization. Then we have the vulnerability. Vulnerability is what? It's a weakness or a flaw. Okay, which can lead to unexpected compromisation of the system. Okay, zero-day attack. Okay. Now zero-day attack is what? Where attacker exploit the system or the application, okay, vulnerable or find out the vulnerability before the developer release the patch. That is your zero-day attack. Exploit. If there is vulnerability, taking an advantage of that vulnerability is an exploit. Risk is what? It's an probability or possibility. Okay, which may happen, which may not happen. Subject to matter risk. Okay, so in front of me, there is my laptop. And let's assume that I am drinking a water from a glass. Now, I am holding a glass of water. Now, there is a risk that water may spill or may not. Okay, that glass of water is a threat to my laptop. Similarly, risk is what? It's a probability, it's a possibility. It may happen, it may not. It can cause some damage to the system. It may not cause any damage to the system. Okay. Now, when we are talking about an intelligence, okay, so what we are doing basically, we are collecting the information, analyzing in depth, isn't it? To get more in depth knowledge about the subject so we can make our decision, to make our action as well. Okay. Now, in relate to that, we have the information as well, the data which has been provided. Okay, data is what? It's in raw format. Okay, the information in a raw format. Now, threat intel team, what they will be doing? Okay, let's assume there is an attack happened inside the organization. Okay, so this is my organization. Inside this, there are many other devices are connected into the network. Hacker performed an attack. Okay, he performed an attack. First, what he did to get inside this system, he performed an phishing attack. Sent a malicious link. Malicious link has been clicked by this user. Okay, and backdoor access. And the malware got installed into the device, and hacker got the backdoor access. Okay. Once he has the backdoor access, he compromised his device. From this device, he get inside the another device. He tried to get inside another device from this to another device. Okay. Once all the devices are been compromised, or let's say one device has been compromised, when this organization get to know that some malicious activity has been happened inside their network, okay, now this threat intel team, what they will be doing, first they are going to isolate this device or isolate the compromised device. Okay, now they will try to get the information, the root cause of the attack. They are going to identify it. Okay, they are going to help the organization to identify and mitigate various business risk. Okay, they are going to collect and analyze the information, how this attack has been happened. Okay, what was the main cause of this attack? In which device the first attack has been happened? Okay, so similarly, they are going to collect every bit of an information. Okay, now this is post attack scenario. Now pre attack scenario, how the this particular cyber threat intel team is going to help your organization to maintain the security. Okay, so to maintain the security of an organization, threat intel team, what they will be doing, they will be collecting and analyzing the information, analyzing information about the threat. Okay, they are going to draw the pattern, going to give and more knowledge about the threat, so organization can prepare from these various types of an attack. Okay, now there are different stages as well of cyber threat intel. So here are some stages of cyber threat intelligence. Okay, the concept of intelligence somewhere is reflecting the concept of known and unknown. Okay, proposed. Now there are generally three stages when we want to achieve the intelligence. We also call it as an unknown knowns. First is unknowns. That is your known unknowns. And then third is your known knowns. Okay, so these are the three stages which is going to in which the threat intelligence has been working. Okay, collect the data from multiple resources such as your open resources, commercial data, get more information from an internet. Okay, create a prioritization alert based on your IT infrastructure of the organization. Okay, helps the organization to identify, to indicate, identify the indicates of particular compromised devices or compromised sources. Okay, not only that, the threat intel team is also going to help organization to implement new protection stages. Okay, it is going to help, or you can say it is going to help the organization to understand all these active campaigns: who, what, when, why, how it has been happening, who can perform this attack, when he can perform this attack, where he can perform this attack. Okay, we also call it as a W5, 5 Ws and 1H: who, what, when, where, why, and how, the emerging security threat. who can perform an attack, what that attack may be, where he can perform an attack, and why he can perform an attack. Okay, and at the end is here how he can perform an attack, how that attack can be done. These are the basic characteristics of your threat intel team when they will be working into the environment. Okay, now threat intel team comes with an benefits as well. Okay, first thing is the same. It is going to provide you a great insight into cyber threat. Okay, going to prevent organization from data loss. Okay, going to help the organization to identify the cause of data leakage, prevent data loss by identifying cause of data leakage. Okay, also going to help to identify the IOCs. Okay, going to give the information about threat. Okay, not only that, spreading the awareness as well about the threat. Threat intel team is going to do that. Threat intel team is going to help in that as well. Okay, sharing threat information and spreading awareness. Okay, so here are the few benefits that you can take the help of which has been provided from a threat intel team. Okay, now let's understand how this particular how we are going to identify the critical threat or inside the organization. Okay, first we are going to identify and prioritize the threat. Okay, how that can be done. Okay, so let's say there is a team, threat intel team inside an organization. So what they will be doing, they will be conducting several brainstorming sessions. Okay, to identify first they are going to discuss what can be the possibilities or what can be the critical threat to the organization. Okay, rate the threat based on this impact. So we have certain you can say particular score as well given. Okay, score as in something like this. So first will be a rate, then your impact. Okay, so there will be rate is 1, the impact will be no impact. If the rate is 2, then the impact will be low. For 3, the impact will be medium. 4, impact will be high. And for 5, impact will be critical. This is how we are going to rate the impact. Similarly, we are going to rate the possibilities as well. Rate and possibilities. 1 for possibilities will be not likely. For 8 we are going to rate 2, possibility will be slightly. 3, possibilities will be moderate. 4 will be high, and 5 will be extreme. Okay, so first the threat base, we are going to rate the threat base onto the impact cost. Okay, the impact is less. Okay, or else the impact, there is no impact, the threat is not impacting the organization, so we are going to rate it as a 1. The threat is there is a low impact with this threat. Okay, so we identified a vulnerability inside the organization, and that vulnerability is causing certain damages. So let's say some information is getting leaked from that vulnerability, so information of 10 USD. Okay, now to fix this vulnerability, it's been costing for an organization is almost of around 10,000 USD. Okay, now here we are going to analyze what is the impact of this vulnerability, or what is the impact of this of that particular vulnerability inside an organization. What will be the possibilities? Slightly. Impact is low. Based on to this, organization can take a decision whether they want to fix the vulnerability or not, because to fix a vulnerability it's almost costing 100 times more. Okay, similarly, when it has been discussed, okay, when there will be a brainstorming session, during that time what the team will be discussing, if there is any possibilities, or if there is any attack has been happened inside the organization. Let's say a phishing attack has been done onto the server. What will be the impact? Low, medium, high, critical. Phishing attack has been done into one device. What will be the impact? And what are the possibilities that the attack may happen? Okay, so we identify and prioritize the threat. Not only that, we identify and prioritize the asset as well, the data as well, the indicators as well. Okay, based on to the value of the asset. Value as in, let's say, asset can be anything. For an organization, asset can be anything. Asset can be the table, asset can be the laptop, asset can be the employee, asset can be the data. Okay, anything which holds a value, that is your asset for an organization. Okay, now organization is going to prioritize the asset as well based on to their value, asset value. Okay, so table will be having certain value and laptop will be having certain value. Now we are going to prioritize the laptop is highly valuable as compared to that table. If there is an impact in that laptop, okay, so what are the possibilities? So like this, we are going to prioritize the thing. Okay, a list will be created based on to this value. Now to secure from this, what we are doing, we are setting up an security infrastructure inside the organization. Okay, so adding new controls in order to understand how organization can work on this operation. Okay, new controls as in we can add any of the controls. So let's say if I want to perform real-time security operation, or if I want to identify or monitor all this thing, who has been coming in my network. Okay, what thing has been going from my network. Okay, so I can track each and everything into a suspicious manner, into in real time as well. So what we do, we use a SIEM. Okay, which is going to perform a real time security your SOC team will be working on this. to identify, to monitor, to record, to analyze a security incident. Not only that, we do have IDS and IPS as well. Intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system. Okay, IDS and IPS work onto the signatures. Now, what are the signatures? These are your file signatures. For every file, there are associated signatures. Okay. Now, let's say your file extension is mm, okay. Let's say your file extension is JPG. It's an image file. For this image file, what will be the signature? This will be your file signature FFT8. How your IDS and IPS will going to understand this? Now IDS and IPS work on this file signature. Okay. So if a user want to download any image file, okay. So to download the image file, which has been sitting inside this network. So in this network, we have IDS as well. Now IDS will going to check what file that is. If it is an FFD8 file, that means it's an image file and it's been allowed inside this network. What if organization want to block this thing? They don't want any user to download any image file. Okay, so we can create a rule. If someone try to download an image file, give the signature of that file, that is your FFD8. If anyone try to download this file, don't allow him. So user visited a Google page. Over there, he browsed a file and he tries to download it. Your IDS is going to detect that someone is trying to download. Okay, raise an alert that someone is trying to download an image file. Someone has made the request to download it. Okay, similarly, IPS is going to protect. IDS is going to detect. So this is your detection control and this is your protection control, prevention control. Okay, so if someone is trying to download the file, which can be malicious for an organization, it is going to detect. Not only going to detect, it is going to prevent as well. Okay, so hacker is performing an phishing attack. He is sending an image file. Behind that image file, he has stored some malware or a virus. Okay, so this IPS is going to detect that someone is trying to send an malware. Okay, detect it as well and prevent it as well. So if anyone is trying to send an malware, block him. That is the work of your IPS. Going to protect it as well. First going to detect and then going to protect from any kind of an malicious activity. Okay. So along with this, we can add endpoint solution as well. Endpoint solution is going to protect the device that has been connected into the network from outside, like a firewall or the perimeters, which is going to protect the organization network from an attack as well. Okay, so during that time, we can use this endpoint solution. Okay, now how you are going to collect the data? How this thing is been processed? So we are using the techniques as well. Okay, collecting all the relevant and reliable data by analyzing it. Okay, or else data can be collected from multiple sources, like we can do an human intelligence as well. Okay, we can perform the IMINT as well. We can perform on signal intelligence. We can perform on open source intelligence, OSINT. Okay, so for OSINT we have a framework available. If you want to see that OSINT framework, just simply go with OSINT over the Google. We have a framework available to perform an open source intelligence gathering. Okay, let's say if I want to collect the information from a username, I only have the username. So for that we have a specific detail as well. So username, search engine, what are the search engines available? Okay, that I can collect the information. Here you go. T stands for tool. Okay, instant username search. If I click it over here, it is going to redirect it me to that application. Okay, similarly, if I only have an email ID, from that email ID I want to collect more information about that user. So what are the possibilities? What are the different sources I have? Email search, common email format, okay, email verification, breach data, mail blacklist. So I can simply go it from here. So we have some of the application. That's them. If I click it over here, it is going to redirect it me to that particular application. Okay. So OSINT is providing us an framework to gather more and more detailed information, to collect the data manually, you can say, analyze and collect the threat related data manually. So we use this such kind of a framework. Okay. Now we have a data collection model as well. Okay. So that will be, first will be your we are going to differentiate it into three formats. So first will be your passive data collection. Okay, so over here data will be collected from network or from that particular system. Okay, within the local boundaries. Okay, there will be no direct engagement with that beyond to this infrastructure. How the data will be collected? From an internal source, from an internal network activity, from the traffic collected, you can say from the activities from your daily traffic. Okay, from your logs of the network, of the local network. That is your passive data collection. Then we have active data collection. Okay, and then we have one more, which is known as your hybrid data collection. Data is collected from shared network. Okay, the best example will be your honeypot. We are going to build a trap, and from that trap we are going to collect the information. If someone is trying to attack inside the organizations, we already made a trap, so let's just collect the information by then. Okay, so we are going to set up an honeypot. Honeypots are what? Honeypots are your vulnerable servers which we are going to implement in that network. By default, vulnerability will be listed over there. Okay, so if hacker is going to perform an attack, so first what he will be getting? He will be getting a honeypot. So he will be thinking that, okay, it's very much I got some information. I got that there are some few ports are open, but he don't know this is a trap for him. In the meantime, organization, what they are going to do? They are going to collect the information. The hacker is performing an attack into this honeypot. Who is this hacker? Where he's been sitting? What is his IP address? Okay, what are the pattern of this attack is? Which attack he is going to perform? All those information. Okay, now there are different types of data as well. So we have raw data. Okay, so generally it's an unprocessed data, unfiltered data. Okay, so it may contain basic details like your IP address, network log, configuration files. Okay, it requires extra time to process, extra time to analyze as well, extra time to extract as well. Okay, then we have exploited data. Data that is filtered, data that is sorted by another analyst. Okay, then we have production data. It's an entry level form of a data that is filtered. Okay, it is, or you can say it, distributed as a report from the user. Let's say already we there's a sorted data, already the information has been stored into the database, and from there we are going to collect the information. Okay, now let's say we have the data, we have the information. Now how we are going to analyze this data? Okay, we collected the information from an passive data collection. We got some data, let's say raw data, exploited data, and producted data. How we are going to analyze this data now? Okay, so first we are going to examine. Okay, examine what kind of an data we have. Then we are going to filter it. Once filtration has been done, transform this data. Okay, so this thing is going to allow us to build an intelligence, to build to give us an conclusion as well, whether that particular we are going to make a decision whether that particular the information which we have collected from the data, okay, the threat is a critical one or not. Okay, let's say I want to purchase a shoe. So what I will be doing, I will be simply browsing what types what are different types of shoes are available. Okay, so continuously I am browsing all these different patterns of a shoe in an application. Okay, then I closed that application while been busy into my work. Then after that I opened particularly any social media application, let's say Instagram. Now when I was been browsing an Instagram, in that in between I am getting some pop-up as well, pop-up as in some advertisement of different shoes. Now how that Instagram knows that I want to buy purchase a shoe? Okay, so make sure whatever information you are providing, okay, so that will be that information should be limited. First of all, verify where you are providing an information, if that's a legitimate one or not, website is a legitimate one or not. Okay, and post to that, it's up to you how much information you want to provide. Okay, so you are browsing in some of the website, and over there they are asking for an email ID, and you don't trust that website. So what you can do in that scenario, you can just go with an 10 minutes mail or instant email.
How can we enable that 10 minutes email, Abhishek?
Yes, here you go.
Okay.
Okay, simply copy this email ID and use it. It's a temporary email ID. If you want to extend the time, give me more 10 more minutes. Okay, so let's say I want to make a registration into one of the websites, so we'll be giving the email ID. and post to that registration confirmation email is been sent by that organization, so we can confirm it from here. This will is your inbox. Okay. Similarly, we have many other websites as well, like this 10 minutes email, temporary email. Okay. If 10 minutes email is not allowing me to access it in many of the countries, so we go with other emails, this temporary emails as well, email IDs as well. So we have a number of it. Okay. Now let's come back over here. How we are going to analyze the data. Okay. So we have different types of data analysis. First is your descriptive. Okay. So descriptive means it generally deals with analyzing the real-time data of your current activity. Okay. Then we have is your diagnostic. Okay. So it generally deals with analyzing the data of you related to your past event. Then we have predictive. Okay. So it generally deals with analyzing and predicting the futuristic event based on to your data which you have acquired. Then we have is your prescriptive. Okay. So it generally deals with all your advanced technique. Okay. Going to give you the specific recommendation as well. Okay. So these are the four different types that how we are going to analyze the data. If we are going to go with a descriptive data analysis, or we want to go with a diagnostic, so depending on to the criteria you can go with it. So generally we go with data analysis strategies as well. So first what we do, we prepare for it. So data preparation has been done. Once it has been done, then data has been classified. Then data validation has been done. Okay. Once the data has been validated, data has been correlated. That means collected and sorted into one particular file. And we have is your data scoring at the end. Okay. So this is your statistical data analysis, standard data analysis process, where employees or where that particular team is going to analyze the data, or we are going to narrow down the requirement. Okay. So first data has been prepared. Let's say I want to perform an analysis into uh, let's see, from HR data. Okay. So database is an HR database. So first we are going to prepare for it. Then we are going to classify. First we are going to prepare for it, that how we are going to go for this data analysis. Then we are going to classify it. Okay. The data will be of an HR. Okay. Let's validate it, whether we have collected all the information, whether we have the data from day one to day the current data as well. Okay. Then the correlation is what? Sorting all the data into an one format. Okay. From where all the data has been collected. Data has been collected from your SOC team. Data has been collected from your internal team. Data has been collected from your uh, HR team. Okay. Let's collect all the information and place it in one place. Okay, and at the end we give the scoring for the data which has been collected. Okay, the scoring values goes on. Okay, now at the end we go with a report writing. Now this is an important part. Whatever task we are performing, let's say I'm into an forensic team, I'm into an threat intel team, I'm into an SOC team. In every team we create a report. Threat intel report will be generated over here. Okay, in that report we are going to give the information, we are going to include all the details, that what type of an attack may be uh, can be performed in this data, what will be the TTPs, what will be the threat actors. Okay, how you had collected the information, how you had collected the data, how the data has been analyzed. Okay, each and everything has been is been informed over there. Okay, so generally in a report what we are going to give is your, let's say, general conclusion of a report, element which has been required to create or conceal any action on a threat intel report is. So first is your report detail, this report belongs to, then the client detail, who wanted us to perform the threat intel, test detail, how the particular intel has been performed, then we are going to give the executive summary, complete information, then we are going to go with traffic light protocol, TLP. Okay, how it has been analyzed, analyze methodology as well. Okay, if there is any threat, give the information of it. Are there any IOCs, indicators of compromise, give the information. And at the end is your recommendation, recommended action. What action should organization perform or should take? The recommendation has been given. Okay, information of it. This report belongs to, or this report. In this report, we have covered this much of an area. Okay, then the client detail, who want us to perform this action. Okay, how this test has been done, how this analysis has been done. Regarding to that, a whole summary, a whole test has been summarized. Okay, then then we are going to include the traffic light protocol as well, TLP. Okay, once the traffic light protocol has been given, then analysis method, how this particular threat intel has been performed. Okay, what all details we got and how it has been analyzed. Is there any threat? Give the information of that threat. Is there any IOCs? Give the information of the IOCs. Okay, now defense in depth is what? It's a strategy which is going to, or you can say it's a layer by layer protection, which is going to secure your data. Okay, let's say I want to secure my data. So how this layer will go? So the topmost layer, in the topmost layer, what we are going to do? We are going to add some policies, procedures. Okay. We are going to give the awareness training program to each and every employee. That what is your job profile. Okay. So along with that, what particular job role you are bringing to the organization. Okay, so there are certain policies has been associated with your ID. There are certain procedures associated with an ID. So if you want to access some of the websites, so you can, there are certain restriction onto that. So giving an understanding about each and everything. Okay, then we have is your physical security. How that employee will be coming inside an organization. So there is an access card will be provided to him. So what we are doing, we are securing our data layer by layer. First, when an employee enters inside an organization, so HR, what they will be doing? They will be creating an ID, isn't it? They will be giving him an access card. ID will be created. That these are your job profile. To that, based onto that job profile, what has been given? Okay, privileges, user privileges have been given. Okay, to access, to come inside the organization, access card will be given. That comes under your physical security. Then your perimeters. If you are sitting into this domain, or let's say you are working into network team, so you can access the data center as well. If you are not into a network team, you cannot access this data center. A perimeter will be given over here, sorted over here. Then your internal network. Okay. Now, when you are inside this organization, now you want to work on the application or work in this parameters. Okay, so there will be a sort of an security has been provided to the internal network. For an organization, internal network is an secured network, and internet is your unsecured network. Now, to prevent that internal network, what we are doing, we are installing a firewall. We are installing an IDS and IPS. Okay, more security. Let's install the. Let's have an SOC team as well. Let's analyze all this thing. So what we are doing, preventing that network. Okay, now who can access this network? Secure that host as well. Okay, if I want to access that network in my laptop, I will be installing, the organization will be installing an antivirus as well. Along with the antivirus, if I want to work remotely, so during that time, what we will be using? We will be using an VPN, which is going to tunnel inside my internal network. Okay, IP address will be given. So what IP, what range of an IP can connect with in this network? Okay, a subnet of that range has been given. So in this subnet range, we can add furthermore IP address. So we will be going with an subnet mask. What is the subnet mask? Is your class C. For class C, 255.255.255.0. So how many more devices we can add? So by calculating it, we can add that much of an devices which will be sitting into this network. How many hosts we can add? So there are XYZ hosts that we can add. Give the security to that host as well. Secure those devices. Then is your application. The application which we are using to access that network. Okay, let's say email. To send an email, we use an application, isn't it? Gmail, Outlook. So we want to secure those as well. Okay, it should be updated. There should not be, along with that, it should be tested as well. If it is vulnerable, straight away anyone can get inside the organization. With that application, what we can do, we can access the data. Okay, this is what your defense in that is. So what we are securing this data. To access the data, what has been required? An application has been required. Who can access this application? Host can access this application. How they can access this application? From an internet. To connect with that internet, parameters have been given. Okay, to get inside this organization, to access this particular application internet, you should have an access card. Who will be having that access card? Employees. Okay, for that employees, there will be an policies, there will be an procedures. ID will be created. For that ID, there are certain limitations will be given. Authority will be given. Roles and responsibilities will be given. Along with that, training is been provided. This is what? Defense in depth. Preventing direct attack against your information system, against your data. There is a very famous methodology which is known as cyber kill chain framework. Okay. Now there was a person by the name of an Lockheed Martin. Okay. Now Lockheed Martin, what he has done, uh, he generally has given the outline of the cyber kill chain. Okay, in order to defend any attack. If there is any attack has been happening, okay, let's understand what is the pattern of this attack. So Lockheed Martin has given certain stages of the cyber kill chain. Okay, now what are those stages? Reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, action on objective. These are what? These are your 7 stages to perform an attack or to defend from any attack. Okay, now from where he got the idea? He got the idea from a military. Okay, in World War II, military was using this technique, and that technique was known as an F2T2EA. Okay, find, identify the target, fix the target location, track, monitor the target movement. Target, select an appropriate weapon or asset to use on the target. Engage, apply that weapon onto the target. Asset, evaluate the effect of the target. Is this a pattern? Isn't it? First, identify the target. Who is your target? Fix the target location. Okay. Once it has been fixed, monitor the movement of the target. What is doing, keeping a track on it. Okay. Now let's go for an attack. select a weapon, apply that weapon onto the target, and evaluate how much effect was been, what are the effect after this attack. Okay. Now, previous to this, the terminology is known as your F4s, 4F. Okay. Find the enemy, fix the enemy, fight the enemy, and finish the enemy. Okay. So previous to F2TTEA, the terminology was known as your 4F. Find the enemy, fix the enemy, fight the enemy, and finish the enemy. Now from this he got to know this is the same thing what attackers are doing into a digital world. Okay, so let's adopt this terminology. So what he has done, he has given certain stages of the attack. Now have a look over here. Does it look very much similar? Once the information has been collected, create a weapon, create a malware. Once the malware has been created, let's try to deliver that malware. Let's perform a phishing attack. Let's send that malware over an email. Once the malware has been sent, user what is going to do, he is going to click on that link. Once he clicked onto the link, malware will get installed into his system. Once the malware got installed into the system, attacker will be having a straight away backdoor access to that device. That's what his motto is, to get inside that particular organization or to get inside that device. Okay. Reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, action and objective. Collect more detail about your target. Get more information. How we are going to do the reconnaissance? Information gathering. Remember onto the day two, how we collected the information. With the help of an Google, with the help of some tools, we try to collect more and more detailed information about our target. Once we have the complete information of our target, then we are going to create a weapon, that how we are going to attack inside that network or inside that device. To get inside that device, what we will be using, we will be using a malware. Because there is no backdoor access, let's create a malware. Once the malware has been created, let's say Trojan has been created, now I want to deliver this malware inside it, inside that network. Okay. Now, what are the possible possibilities for an any attacker to deliver that malware? Either upload it over an uh, browser, over any particular website. Okay. Or either let's try to perform a phishing attack. Let's try to send an email to the employees. Some of the employee, if any of the employee click onto that email, straight away it will get installed. Or else what I can do, send an SMS, wishing email, wishing, and that SMS, a good looking SMS. Let's say you have won a lottery of XYZ amount. To claim for this lottery, click on this link. If you are sitting into that network and you are clicking on that link, attacker will be having an access to your mobile device, and from that device he will be having an access to your internal network. He can go inside that internal network. Okay. Or else from an wishing as well, from an call as well, we try to get more and more information. We try to trick that user or an employee and get more information about it. Okay. Once the weapon has been delivered or is been installed, straight away attacker will be having a full access control to that device or to that network. Okay. Once he have an full access, post to that. What was his agenda? To get inside the network. Now he can go with any ransomware attack, or he can download the data, or he can delete some of the file. That what his action will be, and objective has been cleared. I am sending an email. Okay. Now this website is what? A fake emailer. Okay. Now I can create an email with anyone's name without having their personal information. Let's say I want to send an email from an account. The client or that personal person name is Anthony. Okay. Let's assume his email ID is okay. To whom we want to send. We want to send to this person. What is the subject? Payment reminder. Followed by a link. Let's say Anthony has been associated with AWS and the email ID is okay. Now this is the email which has been crafted. Send. And what if in that email I have attached a malicious link as well? What is going to happen after that? Okay. Now what if in this email I have attached a link as well, and that link is a malicious link? Once you click on that link, malware will get installed into your system. isn't it? Let's say the malware is Trojan. What Trojan is going to do? Is going to give an access to your device, a backdoor access. Okay. Once the Trojan has been installed, I can have an direct access to your device. Okay. To have an direct access, that is your command and control. I am commanding your device. I am controlling your device. The scam can be happen from any way around. It may happen from a phone call as well, just from a small phone call. So other than what the person will be doing, he will be asking, okay, your account is getting expired. Okay, now to update an account, some information will be required. Okay, so what that person will be doing, first he will be doing an intelligence gathering, information gathering. He will be collecting an complete detail of you. Once he have an complete information, then he is going to make a phone call. This is your account number. This is your address. Okay, now I'm talking on behalf of this XYZ bank or XYZ organization. Your account is getting expired on, let's say, 1st of July. Okay, so please update your account. For to update an account, I will be required some small information that can be done over a call. No need to come to an office. At this point of time, are you going to trust that person? He is providing you exact information. What has been given by you? Personal identifiable information. We don't provide such kind of an information over a call or over an email until and unless that is been asked by a legitimate one. So we want to verify it first. Who is asking my details? Whether that person is a legitimate one or not. Ask his employee ID. In which branch he's been sitting in. Why this much of an information has been required? If it has been required, no worries. I can come to that office or send me an email from a legitimate ID. I will provide it over an email, not over a phone call. If it is a big organization, you are associated with that organization, they are asking such details. Okay, so you are trusting that organization, isn't it? Why you have a trust on that organization? Because they are maintaining it. They are maintaining that security. They are maintaining the CIA. Okay, you are signing an NDA as well. You won't be sharing any details and they won't be sharing any details. Okay, if it has been asked by a bank, you can provide it. If it has been asked by an you can say a legitimate organization, let's say you are starting a new job role or new position in XYZ organization. Over there they have been asking for it to create an account or to go by to do an verification as well. Okay, so in that process you can provide this an information, but until unless verify it. Okay, and provide this information only to that legitimate person or legitimate organization. Apart from that, don't provide this information to anyone,
Okay.
especially over a call. Okay, so
Yeah.
that if you are providing an information, that information should also be tracked as well. If you are giving it over an email, you have an proof that you have shared this details over an email. Anything happen in further, so you can showcase this email into the court of law as well. Let's discuss about vulnerability management. Okay, now vulnerability is what? Weakness or a flaw that can lead to an attack as well. Okay, if we have a vulnerability, we can exploit that vulnerability and compromise that device. Now there are some causes of an vulnerability. Okay, Why vulnerability has been happening? If we are using an improper improper password management, a password is not secured. We are not going with all the security in password inside and password. How password should look like: uppercase, lowercase, special character, and numeric, at least of an 8 digit. Password is often 6 digit, only having an alphabets. Can we compromise that password? Within a second, that password can be compromised. Which can cause to an vulnerability. Insecure online browser. Okay. Website is not secure. How we are going to verify it? Website is secured one or not? And see, connection not secure. More information. There is no certificate. That means this website is not secure. Whatever we are providing, that is going into a plain text format. No confidentiality integrity has been maintained. Okay. Training and awareness is not been provided to an employees. That can cause to an vulnerability. If there is any software bug, flaw in your operating system, okay, if you are not able to manage the physical connection, okay, this can lead to an vulnerability. Okay, so how we are going to identify the vulnerability? What will be the common areas of an vulnerability? First will be an humor as well. Okay, so either it's an intentional, either it's an unintentional, the error has been made. Okay, let's say if we are clicking onto the, if we are visiting any of the website which is not secure, it can lead to an vulnerability. Okay, your operating system is having a bug, or it's not been updated, it's not been patched, then attacker can take an advantage. Your application as in, let's say, your particular it's not unsecured website. Okay, or your database is not been secured, easily SQL injection can be performed, or cross-site scripting has been performed. Network devices which fail to change the default settings of your router while deploying it. Okay, easily attacker can guess the password and get inside that network. Okay, your network infrastructure, you are not having a good security in your infrastructure. If you had installed a printer or a scanner, no security has been given. We are using a simple protocol, FTP protocol. FTP is not a secured protocol. Okay, now how we are going to search for it? How we are going to search for vulnerability? Okay, first we will be checking for the, we will be looking into the design. We will try to discover the vulnerabilities from a design from an open network. Okay, let's try to collect the information from an open network first. So if any attacker can compromise our network, or is there any flaw into our network, let's try to get that. Okay. So apart from that, is there any recently discovered vulnerability? How we are going to check for it? Recently discovered vulnerability from this same website, from the CVE. If I'm using any application, or let's say if I'm using any version of an application, version is 1.2.4. Now for this version, is there any vulnerability already been listed or been disclosed or been discovered? So we can check it from here. If it is, let's go ahead and patch it, update it, update the application,
Mhm.
or let's ask our team to update that application. So you can check this all this information from the websites, okay, about a newly discovered vulnerability and exploit. So we have in CVE, we have an particular GSTB. Apart from that, we have in Shodan as well. Generally, organization look for look inside the Shodan as well. Is there any discovered vulnerability? So attackers also update this thing. Okay, if they perform an attack into any of this network or any of the domain or any of the services, they update all those things. They upload all those information. Okay, so Shodan in Shodan search engine, we can look for it. Let's say I want to check vulnerabilities for port number 443. Or port number 80 or port number 21. Okay, just give the port number, you will have the information. These are the live and active ports and vulnerable port. Okay, country specific as well. Top open ports, vulnerable port, along with that complete information of it. This port belongs to what is the IP address, what we can get from that device, complete information of it. This is the IP address, followed by the information.
Mhm.
Okay, so simply we can collect. We are what we are doing. We are collecting the information. This can, if this service belongs to me as well, that means my service is also vulnerable. Let's fix this vulnerability. Or else we will be having a team who will be performing an assessment for us, vulnerability assessment. Okay, they will be finding the vulnerability. Post to that, we will be having a pen test team. They will be exploiting this vulnerability down the line. Once the vulnerability has been exploited, a report has been created, then vulnerability will be patched. Okay, this is how we are going to research for the vulnerability. Okay, we have one more website, in fact. Okay, full listing of vulnerability, weakness type, complete detail. So NIST is also maintaining it. Okay, sharing the link over the chat. So whenever you get a time, just explore all this website. Okay. In 2013, on January, March, April, May, let's say on June, what all new vulnerabilities have been listed? So here we have the list of it, all the latest vulnerability disclosed in this month. Okay. Vulnerability CVE followed by in which year it been disclosed, followed by the number of it. Okay. So this is the details. CVE version, CX, CVE, CVSS version, followed by some information of it. Okay, so from here you can get the information.